When the swallows come back to Capistrano, that's the day you promised to come back to me. When you whispered farewell in Capistrano, 'twas the day the swallows flew out to the sea. All the mission bells will ring, the chapel choir will sing, the happiness.
Wow, this morning. Bloody telephone, I never seem to get a moment's peace. Hello? Ah, good, it's you. Yes, I would rather speak to him, frankly. Harvey, you haven't forgotten, have you? Good. I want you to come over a bit earlier. It's about time we had a chat. And the other thing I'd like to do is go out for a bit of a walk. You don't get enough fresh air anyway. Well, I'd like to do a bit of drawing, if that's okay with you. Try and remember to bring some wellies, will you? Yeah. And try and remember also that this is a very important day for your grandmother. Yes, well, I can't help that. About 2 o'clock, I said. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I've already explained that to you. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, well, I'll see you a bit later then. Make sure you're here at 2. Okay, bye. Right. Fucking bitch, no respect. Come on then, Harvey. How are you then?
Yeah, fine, Dad.
Cup of tea or anything?
No, I'm okay.
Nip of scotch, perhaps? Not man enough, are you? How's school then, anyway?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Do you mind if I switch on the M64?
You're what? A bit of respect wouldn't go amiss, you know. On the anniversary of your great uncle's death, you could show a bit more gratitude than that, for God's sake. Playing war games on that damn computer hardly serves his memory well, does it? We were going to go for a walk then. How about that?
Yeah, okay then.
I was planning to do a couple of sketches while we were out, so please, if you don't mind, don't wear that dreadful coat. I found this for you.
Can't you just pretend I was wearing it? What if it rains?
Oh, don't be such a little puffer. People have been wearing this sort of thing out in the wild for hundreds of years. And I want you to hold this as well. Beautiful, isn't it?
Well, if you insist, but it's pretty shitty out there.
Expect you're glad you came out for a bit of fresh air now, aren't you? Your great uncle Frederick was always out drawing around here. I remember him so clearly. It's about getting back to nature, getting back in touch with reality. Kids these days, you just don't appreciate it, do you?
He used to come out like this in winter.
Ah, of course he did. He was an old campaigner. I could tell you some stories about him. I pity anyone that ever got on the wrong side of him. Right, this is the spot. I want you to get settled over there. And make as if you're out hunting. Like a man's son. A hunter. Yes, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
fucking hell's that then? Hey, Lisa! Oh, that's bothering. What are you having up for him? Oi! Spencer! You mad bugger! What the bloody hell do you think you're doing in my field?
I'm sketching, Mr. Bainbridge, sketching you.
Yeah, well, you see to it you don't scare my pheasants with that toy gun of yours. Bloody ridiculous twat. I ain't never seen one like that in all my born days.
Oh, come on, Dan, I'm freezing.
It's about time someone taught you some patience, my boy. You should be glad to be out here in the open. Did I ever tell you that story about when your great-uncle Frederick and I went fishing off Radford Bridge? God, January morning, 4 o'clock, to get up at that time, set off.
Right, it's time to ring your grandmother. Oh, come on, for God's sake.
Well, here's a novel concept for you. The government are going to give you money to improve your workplace skills. It's an initiative called Individual Learning, and I'm joined by Leslie Best, who's the manager.
Hello.
Hello, Mother dear. Couldn't you hear the phone? I said, couldn't you hear the phone? Yes, watching television. Yes, what a surprise. We'll be over shortly to collect you. Yes, he's here. And it's all prepared for this evening. The food's in the oven. I said the food is in the oven, and I'll be over shortly. Alright, see you soon. Bloody televisions. No one gives a damn about anything these days. Right, let's go. Heating? You get to be driven in a beautiful car like this and you moan about the heating? You're not in Mummy's Saab now, you know. It's only asking. You should show a bit of respect. Look at it, son, look at it. Look at those beautiful curves. Generation just doesn't appreciate old things, does it? You with your American trainers and that ridiculous puffy coat.
How are you, hubby?
He's just fine, Mother, aren't you, Harvey? Just fine. He doesn't feel the pain like we do. After all, he didn't know Uncle Fred like we did.
I can manage, dear.
Okay.
Are you getting on at school, my dear? I gather
yes,
you've been taking your exams.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
Yeah,
Were
they
they
seemed
very
okay.
good?
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
I would like to propose a toast to the great man who we're here today to commemorate. Here's to Frederick Brown, Major in Her Majesty's finest 60th Rifle Regiment. A true patriot and a hero who died 45 years ago today in defence of this flag and all that it represents.
You were fond of your uncle, weren't you, Geoffrey? He was a lovely man. He was a lovely brother to me. When we were little, he used to play with me and look after me. He was not like some brothers and sisters, always bickering and arguing. He was most upset when he was sent away to boarding school because he missed his mother and me. He used to write us the most lovely letters.
Yes, he was a great man.
Did you see the snooker last night, Graham?
Excuse me for
Oh
that.
yes, I do love the snooker. I just couldn't keep awake last night to see the end of it. Now it's Christmas coming. How about playing with balloons? Oh, I love playing with balloons.
I think we should have a minute's silence for Uncle Frederick, don't you, Mother?
Oh no, dear. He wouldn't have wanted all this. All he would have wanted is for us to go and look to the future.
Yeah, can't we remember him without all this stuff anyway? I never even met him, and every year we have to go through this ritual.
I will not have you speak about him in that manner.
You should know better, Mother. And as for you, you should show some gratitude to the people who defended this land and paid for your freedom with their lives. God knows I try to teach you some respect, but you're just not interested. People like him died so that little turds like you could walk free. He was a hero, remember? A hero.
Geoffrey, there is something I think you should know about. I should have told you before, but I couldn't. You have to know, though, because this cannot go on. Your uncle was not a hero. He was not a patriot or a fighter. He hated the Nazis, but he was not a fighter. He could not tolerate the things that he saw. He cried when he left home. He was a sensitive and caring man. He just couldn't live with it. He shot himself. When he saw his best friend die.
when the swallows come back to Capistrano. That's the day you promised to come back to me. When you whispered farewell in Capistrano, 'twas the day the swallows flew out to the sea. All the mission bells will ring, the chapel choir will sing, the happiness you'll bring will live in my memory. When the swallows come back to Capistrano, that's the day I pray that you'll come back to me. Mission bells will ring, the chapel choir will sing, the happiness you'll bring will live in my memory. When the swallows come back to Capistrano, that's the day I pray that you come back to